What's up, all my Desis? Welcome to Talkin' Chalk and Chai. Today we have my little sister Frayal.
Hi.
And my friend Fatma here.
Hi.
She's basically my sister too. So today I guess it's not What's Up Desis, it's What's Up All Muslims, because we're going to talk about a few things in our culture that are pretty different from American culture. And a lot of you guys can relate, Muslims, non-Muslims, any type of ethnic people, I'm sure you all can relate. But so firstly, the number one question I get asked, guys, is how do you say hi in your language? So I'm Muslim, and all of us Muslims basically say it the same. There's different variations, but it's all Assalamu alaikum, which is may peace be upon you. Yeah. Sometimes you'll hear salam, sometimes you'll hear salam alaikum, sometimes you'll hear all the slang. We say that, Pakistanis say that. But basically it's all the same. May peace be upon you for Muslims.
So in our culture, the way we say hi is like we kiss on both sides. And it's kind of confusing when you move, not in our culture, in our like nationality. So then when you go to Saudis, they like women, they kiss on one side and they just get stuck on that side and they're just like kissing. So sometimes I forget and I'm like, wait, am I supposed to go to the other side? And then they're like this and we end up like doing this dance.
And you almost make out with each other.
Yeah, almost.
It's okay if lips slip in.
And then some other like Kuwaiti older women, they would kiss you on one side and then go to the other side and they'd get stuck on the other side. And they just keep going and you're like, you don't know when they're ever gonna stop, so you keep going and then you back away too soon and they're still going in and once again you end up kissing each other.
Yeah. And they don't really care, which is the funny thing. Like, they don't really think it's awkward, it's just us who are like
And then when you have that grandma that's like super bony and she comes in and she's like, phew.
Okay, well, we don't really have these problems. Ours is just kind of like Pakistani aunties just go ham. They just go straight in, give you all that lipstick, but they only do it once. And with the uncles or the Pakistani like older dudes, you just kind of bow your head a little and then they do the beti, and that's about it.
Yeah, like the other day her dad was doing it to me and I'm like, why is your dad patting my head? Am I like a dog or something?
I was like, no, Fatima, that means he loves you and he's like my child. That's it.
Another thing that happens in our culture is staring. Like how do you feel about it?
Yeah, it's so normal. So when you go back to Pakistan, especially for guys to stare at you is completely normal over there. In fact, it's like, I guess women aren't expected to make eye contact. Like, if you make eye contact with them, I mean, you can, but they basically think that you're like, that's it, you want to marry them, okay? So I'd highly avoid making eye contact with the opposite sex in other countries. But here, I think it's okay. Here, I'd still be a little weary of it.
Yeah.
But definitely staring over here is like considered rude, and like you don't do it unless you're smiling, and there's a lot of specific rules with it. Over there, there's no rules. So it's really weird for us to go back and people are staring at us because they don't get it. Like, you'll stare at them back and hope that they'll look away and there's no such thing.
Yeah.
They don't care. They will literally just stare the heck out of you.
Yeah. And last time when I went back home, this girl was staring at me and I just smiled at her and my sister's like, do you know that girl? I'm like, no. She's like, then why did you smile? I'm like, I don't know, she was staring at me. And then one time I said hi. No, she said hi to me and my sister's like, is she crazy? Like, why would she just say hi to a random stranger? But nowadays I feel like when people see like a hijabi, they like stare. So I started doing this thing where I'd wave like a princess and it'd make them laugh. They think, and I consider myself a princess, so I would do it anyway. So.
Yeah, some people look away. They're like, oh shoot. But some people think it's funny that she like responds with.
Because they don't realize that they're staring, so I just do that.
They're just like, oh, terrorists. Okay, let's talk about how our parents discipline us, especially because I've been like worrying a lot about this little girl. No, she's actually a pretty good kid, but this is why. Let me tell you why. Because our parents slapped the shit out of us growing up. If we do anything wrong,
it's discipline. Okay,
yeah,
we learned to be good girls.
Yeah, it's immediate discipline. Like, okay, so one time, me and my older sister, we were like 7 or 8. We're in the backyard playing in the sprinklers. Obviously, we're soaking wet when we walk in the house, and we're pretty sure we asked our mom for permission, and she was like, yeah, go ahead. And we were out there for like an hour, so if our parents knew we were out there, but I think it was just a matter of like, we didn't use the proper measures to tell them. So we come back inside, and our dad's like, "Were you playing in the sprinklers? We're soaking wet." We're like, "No, yes, no, yes." Don't know what to say. We're just kind of quiet, and he's like, "Why are you girls lying? What were you doing? Why are you playing with sprinklers?" We stood for 4 hours with our hands up, holding a chair half the time, and crying, obviously, okay? And my dad used to do this thing where he'd be like, "Suck up your tears, suck up your tears." And every time we would cry, it would be another extra hour.
My mom did the same thing.
She's like,
swallow that, swallow that, don't even.
he's like,
That's such a crazy
"Yeah, asu bija, bija."
It's
so
across
funny.
cultures.
Yeah. Twins. But so that would obviously, you guys listening to this, most Americans are probably like, that is so abusive, you know?
Like when we were here, like my parents
Yeah.
have to tone it down a bit. So one time my niece was crying, like she was just having a tantrum, and this guy like called the like mall cops on us because he thought like we stole her or something. And we were always like, don't. We have to remind my dad, you can't hit us or else they report you or something. But it's totally normal back home.
It's so normal. And okay, so once I saw this like Asian family, and this kid, she was like probably like 5 or 6. She was screaming for a Barbie doll, going crazy. If she was my daughter, I'd do the same thing. But the mother was basically, she like grabbed her by the arm and she was like, "No, I told you no." Okay, and these people around them started freaking out. They made a commotion. They're like, "You can't do that with your kid. You can't." I was like, "Oh God, this is why you have your kids at like young ages running around doing drugs and having sex." Sorry,
yeah.
but like you have to discipline them in some. I'm not saying go ham. Like obviously don't like beat the crap out of them, but I feel like there has to be some sense of that fear. That fear is so important. Yes, it's great that you want to be best friends with your kids, but the only way they'll do what you say is if they fear you. Also, driving is super different.
Yeah.
Like over there's zero regulation. So I know so my dad was just telling me how half of his family just came to America. They all got green cards and popped up. And so they've been getting a lot of tickets lately because they just don't know how to drive, or they get really aggressive and they just don't follow the rules and regulations, but they can drive really well. So they got their licenses because they were able to pass the test. But beyond that, they don't have the patience to stay in that, like, in their lanes or not overtake people or not speed. You know, that's a big thing. There's no regulation. So, and a red light is basically like, it's just
A suggestion,
implied, a
yeah.
suggestion. Like, okay, you can stop if you want or just yield.
And the speed limit is the base limit. Like that's
That's like the minimum. You
Yeah.
have to go and leave that much.
It's crazy. Like when I go back home, I don't even drive because I'm too scared.
We definitely also, when we're traveling, we pack a lot because we go to our home countries after like a year, and there's a lot that we have to bring back from Pakistan or other countries,
Yeah.
and then there's a lot that we want to take back too. It's just all part of the package because every single family member, the first thing they do when they see you, even if it's been months, they'll be like, "Oh, Assalamu alaikum," but what'd you get for me? You know, that's the first thing
Yeah.
they do.
Like whenever my family visits, they always go back. Like they come with like 4 bags. When they go back, all the bags multiply and they have like double or triple as many bags. And it's just crazy, like in the airport, like carrying them around and everyone's just like staring at us, and it's normal. Like back home, everyone has these huge carts with all these bags, but here
Yeah.
it's like everyone just carries their own bag and that's it. But no,
And
that's
then
not how
they
we
see
roll.
us and they're like, "Look at these Muslims exporting bombs."
I know.
We always end up somehow like fighting over the bill.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Elaborate.
Especially if we're all in a restaurant and there's younger people who have a good job, everything, they're balling, and then there's the older people who are still stuck in the same place. There's those two different people. If the younger person wants to pay, if the younger person wants to pay, then the older person will probably be like, no, you're my son or my daughter, I will pay for you.
Yeah, like you're a child, you can't pay. Or
It's my
and it's
job
not
to
even
pay.
that though. Even same age people, it doesn't matter how long of a line there is. They will start a commotion. It's like a bullfight. They're like, no, don't
Whoever
disrespect
can
my
pull out
family."
their card the fastest, they're like,
And even then, they'll start with the poor cashier. I feel
She's
so
like,
bad. They're like, no, take this, no, take it from me, or and like I feel bad for the cashiers.
It's a pride issue.
It's a
like,
pride.
yeah.
It's a pride. It's definitely
And
a pride
then
thing.
even before then, we were always late. Like we're always fashionably late. Like no
It's a
matter
thing.
what. Yeah. It's we call it Arab timings, but I guess it's
No,
like,
it's-
everywhere.
Yeah, we had like American family friends growing up, and it got to the point where every Thanksgiving, every Christmas, we were at least an hour late. It was just part of our family couldn't like I don't know how it happened. It would just happen. So it got to the point where every year they would just intentionally invite us an hour earlier. And then it got to the point where we would actually start showing up on time. Like I don't know, maybe we all matured or over time something happened. And then we realized that they were just lying to us the entire time. But it was working for a while. It was a good idea. So next time, if you really want some sort of like Middle Eastern, South Asian person, anyone who shows up fashionably late, if you want them to come early, just lie to them about the times by like an hour and they will show up.
I even remember one time we made this like booking for Boeing. They have these tours, and we booked at a specific time, but of course like none of us kept to that time, and my dad like got so angry at us. He went to the car and he just sat and he didn't want to talk to anyone because he likes airplanes, and he's like, no, you guys always do this, you guys are always late. And we lost that, like all the money that we paid for that booking, we lost it all.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
and we couldn't get it back.
I think that's it for this episode. I think we went a little over time, but if you guys like this video, subscribe and then comment and let us know if you want to see a part 2. I'm sure there are so many other cultural
Or give us
differences.
any topics that you want us to
Yeah,
talk
let
about.
us know what you want to hear us talk about. Bye guys.
Bye.